Yeah, today I wanted to do a video review of these backup iron sights here you see, and they are the UTG Tactical Low Profile Backup Irons. And I feel these are probably the best backup irons on the market right now for your money. If you've got about 60 bucks to spend, you cannot, in my opinion, do better than these right now. I've sold a number of these over the past year or two, and in fact I run these as my standard backup irons on my rifles that I sell with my company here, Heart of Texas Armory. So like I said, I've sold quite a few of them. I've had zero complaints with these. Customers seem to be very pleased with them, and they like them especially for the price. You can, obviously get better backup irons than these, like for instance a Troy battle sights or something like that, but those are only going to be, needed for people who are actually going to be putting, hard use on their rifle. I mean, really hard use. And everyday civilian use, whether it's home defense, range, fun, these are going to hold up just fine. It's really not worth upgrading to the Troys unless you're, law enforcement or something like that. But here, quickly, before I start the view, I want to show you what kind of box they come with. So here's a look at the box. So we'll start with the, let me get it to focus here. We'll start up with the rear sights. They come boxed separately. So there's the name of them, UTG MNT-955 for the rear. And let me quickly flip over the box so y'all can kind of take a look at the information that they put on there. So there's the rear, get that out of the way. And now the front, which is MNT-755. And there's a look at the little pictures they put on the side of the box and the information. Hopefully that'll come out. Y'all can read that. I'm trying to hold it steady. So there you go. So that's the kind of boxing that it comes, packaging it comes in. Nothing too fancy, but gets the job done. Just be aware that they do come boxed separately. So here's the sights themselves. The good thing about these is they are anodized aluminum, so you don't have to worry about any cheap polymer backup irons with these. That is one of the best things. In this price range, which UTG lists these at $27.97 MSRP, a piece. So $27.97 to $27.97 for those. So about 60 bucks total. In that price range, typically you're going to find polymer sights, or you're going to find just really crappy, ugly, cheap aluminum backup irons. So these, I feel like they're really good quality for what they are. So they're aircraft grade aluminum. They've been anodized, which is nice, and they have a dual aperture, and it's actually a really cool aperture. You can see here with the sight flipped down the rear. You're looking through the small aperture, the small peep here, and the sight actually lays flat. A lot of sights nowadays, when you're in the small aperture, which is what most people are going to use 99% of the time, to be honest, they won't flip down with it in the small. You have to flip it back to the large. So I like that this one, in either position, this sight will lay flat. That's awesome. I love that. So the positives with these is, obviously the main thing is the price. I mean, you can get these for well under 60. That's what the MSRP is for the set. If you want a pair, just contact me. I'll give you a really good price. I'll probably beat anyone in the nation, to be honest. I'm not shipping anywhere in the United States, but just contact me. I'll leave a link down in the description to my website, and you can get in touch with me there if you want a set. They have excellent apertures, like I mentioned. The precision of the machining inside the aperture is really good on these. A lot of the cheaper ones, you're going to have poor machining in there. They'll have little burrs or some other type of marks, or maybe it's not an actual circle. And this one is actually machined very well, so that leads to obviously better accuracy. They lock down solidly to your rifle, so you can see them mounted here on this little SBR. They lock to any Picatinny rail, and it's done by that screw in the claw system. Y'all probably seen that before. But they lock down solidly, and best of all is they hold zero. They actually retain. I've beaten the heck out of these things. I've shot a lot of rounds, with my rifles with these, and they hold zero. So that's awesome. That's what you want a backup set of irons to do, is to stay out of the way when you don't need them, and when you flip them up, when you do need them, you want them to retain that zero. So these actually do that, and that's what's great about them. Another thing is they just look good. You can see them here on this SBR. I mean, let me get my camera to focus here. They just look good. They look better than a lot of the other budget backup irons. So there's the front and then the rear here. And let me flip them down so you can see them flat on the rifle. So there they are. Very low profile, which is another positive. I mean, they're one of the lowest sitting backup irons, I think, on the market. They might be the lowest. So even if you had like a magnifier, you know, with this optic here, with the magnifier flipped into position, a lot of times, you know, you're not going to be able to flip it in, lock it into place because your backup iron is too high. You have to take the backup iron off or move everything forward. These, I think you could probably get most of your magnifiers to lock into position with your backup irons flipped down. That's a huge advantage to these. So that's great. They're the F height, which is nice. So what that means is that it's co-witness with your red dots on a standard AR15 red dot setup like this here. When you have them flipped up, you're going to look through your sights and they're going to co-witness with your dot. That's great. They're just a great value. They hold their zero. They're excellent sights for the money here. Now let's get to a few of the negatives. There's not a whole lot of them, but there are a few areas I think they can improve these. If UTG ever watches this video, you can see here the way these operate. There's a little nylon ball right there, and that's what kind of locks into the little recessed or divot in this bar here. So you can see it right there. There's a good view of it. I haven't had any problems with durability with that. I've had people who have been running these for over a year, and no one's ever complained of that breaking or what, anything going wrong with it. But I think it would be better if that was actually a steel ball. But that is something I wanted to mention. So keep that. I just wanted to show you that. Another thing too is how these operate is they don't actually flip up, under spring tension like a lot of backup irons. So like your mag pulls, which I've got a set here, I can kind of compare with these. When you pull the little lever, obviously they flip up under spring tension, right? And they actually don't lock into the up position, so they're free. You have to just pull them down and they lock, and then you release them. This one is the opposite, so there's no spring tension with these. When they're in their down position like this, to operate them, all you have to do is just flip them up. You just push, and you'll see it moving, and it clicks into place with that little spring bar right there. Now it's locked into place. To put them back down, you push the little spring bar right there, you push it in, and that allows it to flip down, and it'll lock down into place into a detent. So just keep that in mind, that these don't operate under spring tension. That may be a positive, may be a negative. It just depends on your preference. I actually kind of like that they don't flip up under spring tension. I don't really care about that. If I want these, I'm gonna push them up, but I want them to stay in place. I want them to lock in place, unlike the mag pull, where if you have them up and you hit it against something, you're gonna lower them. So what else here on these? Another note, just make sure when you install these, when you get them new, the actual screw here is going to be kind of heavily oiled. It's going to have machining oil on them, so just degrease your screw as well as the interior threading on the housing as well before you Loctite these down to your rifle. Just keep that in mind, that they do come with a little oil on there, so I suggest you degrease that. Overall though, these are just great backup irons. Let me get my camera to focus here. For the money, it's like I mentioned, it's the best in the market that I've found so far. They're just excellent bang for your buck. They do everything you need a backup iron sight to do. They hold zero. They are very low profile. They stay out of your way when you don't need them, and when you do need them, they work. So I think they're excellent for the money. There are a few minor things that I think that UTG could do to improve these that I listed, but overall, right now, you can't go wrong with these. I highly recommend them. If you just got a really poor quality, or maybe you don't have any backup irons, or a really crappy set, these would be a good upgrade without breaking the bank. So go ahead and get you a pair. If you need one, just contact me. I'll leave my link in the description, and I'll hook you up. If If you got any questions or comments, make sure you leave a comment down below or question, and I'll look at them and address it any way I can. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys.